news today. Big news today. Ghost of Yotei reviews are out. We're gonna look at some reviews for the shits and giggles. See what people saying about the game. Even though we know we're gonna get this. This is definitely a cop, but you know what the hell? We entertain it.
Revenge is a dish best served cold, but sometimes smoldering ashes will more than suffice. It's not the first Sucker Punch has dabbled in a vengeance saga, see Ghost of Tsushima, but there's a different, more personal flavor to Ghost of Yotei. One that's more obsessive but introspective. And even as it seemingly works through the same moral hoops that we've seen before, it does so with a degree of freshness and creative ingenuity. Which isn't to say that you won't be reminded of another legend, somewhere on a distant Tsushima island, committing the same wanton acts of stealth / and explosive engineering. But after spending almost 40 hours in Ghost of Yotei, intertwined in its narrative machinations and implications, while taking in the sights of pre-Hokkaido Itzo, I have to say it is an incredible experience. Revenge Tour. Now, for those who haven't seen the myriad of trailers thus far, the story revolves around Atsu, a mercenary who returns to Itzo after years, seeking revenge for her family. During her childhood, a group called the Yōtei Six slaughtered them and left her for dead, pinned to a ginkgo tree that was set ablaze. Survival shouldn't have been possible, which fuels superstitions around this grown-up Atsu being an onryō, a yuri who will stop at nothing for revenge. That isn't our first impression of Atsu during the stylish opening, which calls classic samurai flicks to mind with its cinematography and pacing. It's one that she's happy to reinforce though, even while finding the onryō talk to be a little much. For years, revenge has been the only thing on her mind, driving her very way of life to the exclusion of everything else. While my biggest initial concern was how straightforward the story could become, the best revenge fantasies are those with twist, wrinkles that alter the protagonist's worldview beyond what's right and what's wrong. However, Ghost of Yotei offers even more narrative layers beyond this, examining the monsters we meet as children and their power over us, both real and imagined. It also talks about moving on, even if it means never confronting the thought of returning home, whether there can be a life beyond simply perpetuating more violence, and if redemption is actually even possible. Of course, there's much more surrounding the plot that of course I don't want to get into because of spoilers. For every point where I predicted what Yotei was serving up, Sucker Punch added an intriguing twist that enhanced the narrative. Beyond this, the campaign offers some great mission design, balancing large set pieces with moments of calm conversation. And though the usual practice of accompanying a character feels slightly overused, at least they do match your speed here. Pack mentality. Behind Atsu's stoicism and survival instincts is a childlike stubbornness that often rejects the help of others, which is interesting to contrast when seamlessly switching to her childhood. Nevertheless, Sucker Punch places heavy emphasis on the wolf pack, characters who can play an integral role in her journey, to the extent that they get a dedicated menu screen. These can range from different weapon masters who teach new skills to blacksmiths who upgrade your armor. As such, the core cast is strong here, weaving in complex motivations and emotions without hamming it up or going overboard with their performances. Even if this is a game to be experienced fully in Japanese, the English voices across the board are excellent, especially Erika Ishii, who effortlessly glides from unperturbed and cold to warm and easily annoyed as Atsu. However, there are a few side characters that felt like they needed a bit more involvement in the story. As much as I like Ran the Bowyer, Jinji the Blacksmith, and Taro the Corpse Scavenger, he has dibs on my stuff, and getting to know their innate personalities through various quests or while traipsing through Itzo, I expected something more. That being said, the handling of Atsu's bond with the mysterious wolf is interesting.
Man, bro, like, do you really want to know about the side characters that much, bro, to like have that? I don't know, bro.
Not heavy-handed, but still offering narrative significance and even more layers to Atsu's character development. I'm sure there will be comparisons to Jin Sakai and beloved characters from Tsushima.
Because that right there, like he said, oh man, this blacksmith, I want to know his backstory. What made him a blacksmith? I don't care about that, bro. I don't care about that, man.
Masako, and for all his flaws, Ryozo. And while your mileage may vary in some spots, Ghost of Yotei's cast is distinct and well developed, to the point where I care about what happens to them when I'm not lamenting at the lack of opportunities to actually get closer to some. Where winds meet. Of course, the other appeal is the open world here. While Tsushima
winds
Island
meet.
was a gorgeous place to explore, and I enjoyed clearing enemy camps as much as following all the golden birds and foxes I could find, these elements did get a little repetitive. Itō features these same elements alongside some new activities, including painting scenes with a touchpad and solving mountain mysteries.
Oh man!
Yes,
You can paint with a touchpad. Oh, okay. That's different.
spending a not insignificant amount of time in hot springs to raise your max health and chopping rows of bamboo to increase spirit, which replaces focus this time around. But it's incredible how Sucker Punch has taken this world and made everything feel so much more unique and varied than Tsushima. Bamboo strikes offer a wider variety of button inputs on challenges alongside some neat little touches, like other bounty hunters cheering Atsu on or mocking her failures. Hot springs feature interesting effects if you fulfill specific conditions. The climb to claim certain collectibles is also much more involved here, though not too challenging for those even mildly experienced in platformers. Even the enemy camps are more varied this time around, whether it's different setups or follow-up objectives that distinguish them from the usual clear out all enemies and take a bow. Yet, all of that, as brilliant as it is, pales in comparison to the various quests in the game. Maybe you discover a man whose brother has gone missing and ride out to find him while repelling attacks from hidden shinobi. You could also encounter a woman skilled in making kunai, and a mean squash stew also, who asks you to check on her various farms, with details of her story unraveling over time. Then there's Mad Goro, a venerable legend in his own twisted ways. There are also the usual mythic tales that confer unique rewards which go even further, offering sections with extensive platforming, light puzzle solving, and some fun combat. Each bounty target also feels unique here, sometimes interweaving with other activities in some unexpected ways. Not all objectives hit quite the same, but the vast majority of side content is enjoyable more often than not.
That move
Beyond
right
uncovering leads pointing to the whereabouts of the Yōtei Six, you'll receive information from random NPCs about nearby activities, adding even more fragments to your burgeoning map. The layout of the entire world is impressive. I've honestly lost count of the number of times I discovered something brand new near a recently completed quest or activity.
Okay.
The fact that you can spend as much or as little time venturing through the world as you'd like, sometimes even prioritizing which Yōtei Six member to target next, is also freeing. I'm not sure how Itō compares to the very open worlds in the genre, but it's become one of my personal favorites and easily surpasses Tsushima. 'Tis but a scratch. The other major pillar, just like Tsushima, is of course the combat, and this is where most veterans will feel at home. Instead of the stance system, Ghost of Yotei focuses on different weapons. You start with the katana before gaining the dual swords, the yari, the kusarigama, and the odachi, alongside the new firearms. The usual tools also apply, from smoke bombs to take enemies off guard and make some quick assassinations, to oil for your setting your weapons ablaze and dealing unblockable damage. Now, depending on how you play, the combat can take some time to get rolling, since the biggest appeal is having a diverse set of weapons and tools to dispose of enemies in various ways. And since each weapon requires a few upgrades to really come into its own, it can be easy to dismiss this as a simple replacement of the aforementioned stance system from Tsushima. However, give it time.
Nah, I will say that I do like this system more than that stance system. I done played maybe probably two or three games that had a stance system, and I like this part. I like this right here. This is good.
And you'll discover the beauty of seamlessly
Throwing the
transitioning into a
sword.
dual sword heavy weapon strike, before then using the blades to effortlessly deflect Yari attacks, or kicking fools off cliffs to create some space with your own Yari,
Look, bro,
or
that
heck,
is
even
so
long-distance
nasty,
assassinations with the Kusarigama. The disarm mechanic feels like a neat little risk versus reward mechanic at first, but a little too heavily favored towards Atsu, since you can easily roll out of the way of disarming strikes without any consequence. Swiftly dispatching a disarmed foe makes it worth attempting though, and that more than counts for something, I guess. I also enjoyed the new weapon throwing mechanic, though there's nothing like roaming the battlefield of fallen foes and tossing a yari, a katana, a sickle into anyone stupid enough to just challenge you. Nevertheless, I appreciate the feel of the new weapons in this game, even if the progression feels a little too straightforward, with some upgrades offering little more than increased stance damage. They synergize with the various armor sets and charms to deliver some truly devastating combinations. Again, no spoilers, but I'm rocking 3 different loadouts, and praise Sucker Punch for including loadouts at launch, mind you, which I can switch to for slaying out with range damage, sneaking about, and assassinating fools, or going toe-to-toe in duels, and honestly, it's all awesome. The overall challenge also feels like a welcome upgrade over Tsushima, so much so that I had to knock the difficulty down from lethal to hard, and eventually medium for the sake of time. I did occasionally spot boss duels devolving into similar patterns, but the range of tactics and more complex movesets definitely made each encounter that much more memorable. The Painted World of Izo. Presentation-wise, Ghost of Yotei is stunning, with the setting lending to a brighter and more varied color palette. Sucker Punch recently spoke about the increased draw distance, and it works wonders in portraying the sheer scale of Izo. The attention to detail is simply jaw-dropping here, whether you're shuffling past multitudes of leaves scattered on the ground, watching rain casually slide off of awnings, or rushing through a nice field of flowers. So I played on performance mode, and the fact that it's accomplishing all of this without any frame drops or noticeable pop-in, at least none that I could observe while playing, is simply mind-boggling. The music is also, unsurprisingly, downright enthralling. The shamisen is a core motif, and it's as incredible when used in slow, moving pieces as it is in battles to convey tension. However, there are places where the animation, especially when it comes to NPCs and casual interactions, could use some more polish. The cinematography and some dialogue exchanges also felt a bit off at times. It's not the biggest immersion breaker, mind you, but it stands in stark contrast to the proper cutscenes with their fidelity and excellent facial expressions. A few bugs can also disrupt the fun, such as characters not being in position for certain scenes, or the odd physics that can sometimes occur on jump attacks. These are few and far between, but still worth pointing out here. Dancing with Wolves. While Ghost of Tsushima impressed with its mix of open-world stealth and stance-focused combat, Ghost of Yotei is both a refinement and an expansion of everything that it offered. I could see complaints about the combat being more iterative than evolutionary, but this is still an extremely impressive title worth diving into, whether you're a fan of open-world games or not. Atsu's journey doesn't rewrite the rulebook on meting out vengeance so much as establish her own journey of personal growth, and the brilliance and natural beauty of Izo, and I, for one, am excited to unravel more of its mysteries and dangers. And with that, we reach the end of this video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the
GameBot gave it a 9. That's pretty decent, bro. Ghost of Yotei is definitely, I can't wait, bro. I'm ready to play that already. Silent Hill is great. Ghost of Yotei going to be great. Guys, just let me know down below if y'all guys getting Ghost of Yotei. They gave it a 9, even though we were always going to pick this up, but I can't wait till this game come out, man. Check out the Silent Hill episodes. Make sure y'all check these videos out right here, and I will see y'all guys in the next one. Peace.